Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Especially welcome back to the next TSM Deep Dive Guide series. In my last video we talked about the TSM crafting information, so the profession data, on how to calculate our profit, our loss, the material price of all the materials, but even the item value of all the items we could currently craft. And in today's video, we're gonna create our TradeSkillMaster groups, and we also have a look on the base group. But first of all, let's have a look on my bags. I got some items in here, Transmog items, some old recipes from old expansions, but also we got some crafted things like the Tome of Illusion, the Javel Crafter Ring of the War Within, we got some pets, some materials, and also current Raid-BoEs. Okay, and based on that, what I have left in my bag, we want to create some TSM groups together in order to create also some operations for these groups in my next video. Okay, so first of all, we would like to create a group for our farmed transmog items and also for the farmed recipes in all the expansions. Okay, we go to the TradeSkillMaster tab in here, click on the group tab. So we are currently on the high YouTube profile, so this is completely empty, and we got the base group, the information tab, and the operation tab. First of all, what I would like to say is, I'm not a big fan of having operations on the base group. So if you have a new TSM profile, the base group also has all the default operations in there. But my goal is it to currently have TSM groups created on my own and just to use these own created ones in order to run post scans, cancel scans, shopping scans, or even sniper scans. Okay, I don't want to use the base group at all, except if I may want to add specific items to my own groups. So what I would like to do here, removing all the operations from the default group first. Okay, so what is the base group actually? The base group is your, let's call it, main TSM group, which contains any item you have seen previously. No matter if you have seen any item as drop on your raid, in your raid, or in your dungeon. Maybe you have seen this in any of the profession books, even in the chat in here, like if you have opened any item tooltips, but also if you have seen any items on the auction house already. So every item in here gets stored in the base group, and if you want to add some items you actually don't have in your bag, you could also search them in your TSM base group. As example, I don't have the T-Bow sword in here in my bag, and if I would like to add the T-Bow sword, let's make a new group first here and call it T-Bow Alt for the alt version. Okay, then we select the base item here, we go back to the base group and hit the search item name T-Bow. Okay, and here we got the T-Bow's Blazing Longsword, the alt version. We select it, then we select the group in here, select the T-Bow's group here, and move that one item. Voila, you got the first group with the T-Bow sword. So you have added the item even if you don't have them in your bags. Okay, this is the base group. But I'm gonna delete this one in here because we would like to first create our groups based on what we have in our bags. Okay, so how to create a new one? Pretty simple. Click on that little plus icon and call it farmed transmog stuff. But before we add any items in here, we got the option show ungrouped item as, base item, item level, and specific item. So what is the difference between specific item, item level, and base item? Before you decide to run a post scan on the auction house, you would have to decide first on how TSM would like to manage your items in your group. So you just can't add them blindly with any of this option here, like specific item or base item. You would have to know first what kind of variation you would like to add to your group. As example, base item means you just add the base version of any item to your group. So if you want a post skin, you ignore any kind of different item variations in order to undercut other people, as long as the price, the current posted price at the auction house, is above your minimum price from your auctioning operation. So, to give you a base item example, we go to the auction house and we would like to post our Transmog items, so like the Singing Crystal Eggs. My Singing Crystal Eggs has the item level of 31, but there is no Singing Crystal Eggs listed with the same item level. So here are some with the item level of 140, but I still would like to undercut these ones, even if my Singing Crystal Eggs has a different variation, so a different item level. And in order to do that, you would have to add the Transmog items, where you want to ignore all kind of variations. You would have to add them as base item to one of your group. Okay, so let's have a look. If we shift left click on the 141, you see the weapon Transmog. But if we shift left click on my one with the item level of 31, you don't see any difference. Okay, so that's why you want to add your Transmog items most of the time as base item. There are some expectations, but we're gonna talk about this later on in this video, okay? So keep in mind, Transmog item, please add them as base item variation. So we could also make two subgroups. One for the base items, and then one subgroup for the farm Transmog items, where we may want to add the Transmog as item level variation. So we're gonna go to the base item version, show ungrouped items as base item. So first of all, we would like to add all the Transmog items, like the Disc of the Third Moon, but also the Purple Dinner Suit, the Night Blade, and the Singing Crystal Eggs to the base item group, where show ungrouped item as selected to base item. We also got here the little recipe, also added here, and the chromatic sword, of course, too. But I also said there are some exceptions when you don't want to add specific Transmog items, not a space item. So there are some Transmog items where you don't want to ignore any kind of different variation. You may want to add some items as item level variation, okay? And here is example. We have these ones here and the old Dragonflight Raid-BoEs. I don't know how to pronounce it in English right now. Diadem? Diadem of the Highborn? Let's call it Diadem, okay? Diadem of the Highborn, one time the normal version, and one time the heroic version. These are also old Raid-BoE drops, but the difference in here is that they also may look different even if it's just the same item, because the different item level variation also shows you a different appearance of that item, okay? So if we have a look first on the normal diadem, it's a yellow one, okay? And if we have a look on the heroic one now, you see it's the green one. And that is the reason why you want to may add old Raid-BoEs, or even the new ones of course, but mostly old Raid-BoEs, you would like to add them as item level variation into your TSM group instead of the base item variation, okay? Same goes of course to the Frozen Claw Mantle. That is a heroic one, the heroic variation of 402. And you see these shoulders are fancy and blue, okay? But this version here, the normal version of item level 480, has a different color in here. So also, since this is an old Raid-BoE now, I would also suggest you to add these kind of Transmog items as item level variation instead of the base item variation. Okay, so we go back into the TSM Group-Tab, go to the item level tab, And here we select show ungrouped items as, and then we select the item level. So we only want to undercut the item level of 245 and 243 of the diadem of the high one. Same with the frozen claw mantle here. We add these as item level 2, so we only undercut the 480 item level variation with the same item in here. And here we also only undercut this item if it has been posted before with the same item level variation of 402. And if not, you just post them for your normal price, which is also defined in your auctioning operation later on. Okay, so we got the item level transmog items added, and we also got the base item versions added into the base item subgroup. So we have the first group created for farmed transmog items. Let's say you also farm transmog item in open world or all dungeons or even in odd raids, okay? You could also add everything as base item. So even if you don't mind adding this one as base item, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a suggestion, okay? Suggestion. Oh, what a word. Jesus. But I would still recommend to post these, of course, as item level, but if you run all dungeons and such, just show ungrouped items as, use the base item, and add all your farm transmog items from your bags. If you haven't added them previously, just add them to your own base item group in here. Okay, so this is the way how you add your transmog items to your group. Sadly, I don't have any crafted transmog items available on the Alliance side in here. But if you craft transmog items, it's the same like the base item version when you farm them. Crafted transmog has just one different variation, so the same, and you want to also add show ungrouped items as base item, of course, okay, in order to also use the crafting information, the crafting data, the source in your auctioning operation later on. Okay, we're gonna talk about the crafting source later on too in my next video when we create the operations for all of these groups. So the first group is finished. We could also right click it to expand it or to close it. You could also do it here with this little icon, of course. Then we create the next base group, the next main TSM group, and now I would like to add my pets in here, okay? So we make a group for our pets. Then, of course, we want to create a subgroup for the base item of pets, and also maybe a group with the pet level of specific pets. That's fully up to you. Me personally, I don't deal with the pet level at all when it goes to selling pets, because I flip them, I snipe them, no matter the pet level, so I add the base item version of the pets only most of the time. But I'm gonna show you how you could also add the items based on their pet level, so you also consider the same pet level of your own pets in your bag. Okay, so first of all, pet group done. We got the subgroup for pets, the base item version. Show ungrouped items as also the base item. Then you select all the pets in here, and then you add the 3 pets which got added in here, which I have in my bags, like that. Then you also see, when you hover over the base version of all these pets, they got a level of 0. Why does it have a level 0 when they normally have at least a level of 1? This is because you want to ignore any different pet level when it goes to selling them. Okay, so have a look on it. We have here a level 1 pet, level 1, level 25 later on. So for me personally, I only post them based on the base item, but it's the same procedure like in the Transmog. So if you post them as base item only, you ignore any kind of pet level and just undercut the cheapest posted pet as long as the price is above your minimum price in your auctioning operation. Okay, but you could also consider the pet level of your pets. So you got the pet level subgroup, show ungrouped items as, and then you select the item level 2, and then you have a look on this one here. The bush chicken actually has a level of 25 in here. Like here in this tooltip. Okay, this is a level 25 one, and if you want to consider it, so you only want to currently undercut the same pets with the same pet level, just post your items like this in your TSM group with the show ungrouped items as item level. Okay, pretty simple. So there's one little issue. The level 25 pets and also the level 1 pets, they got the same TSM auction DB data. They don't have its own values. Okay, so you have a look on here. The region market value average is at around 27,000 gold for the level 1 pet. Okay, but even the level 25 one has the same region market value average of 27,325 gold. Okay, so you would have to define another value in your auctioning operation in order to not post them too cheap, because it could also happen that the pets of level 25 have a much higher value compared to the level 1 one, because you also see it here. The level 1s, they got sold for around 90,000 gold in here, while the level 25 ones get listed for above 23,000 gold. But we're gonna talk about this specifically also in my next video on how to manage the price sources when you would like to post your items based on the item level or the pet level instead of the base item like here. Okay, but we have added the pet level here right now for level 25 and we just keep it like this. Then we go to the next group. Okay, we have done the pets group 2, and then we use another group for our materials. So I will first use this material group, and personally for me right now I make one single subgroup first, and this is for Dragonflight. That is fully up to you. You could also just use the material group without any other material subgroup, but if you would also like to maybe add crafted materials, you could also use, of course, a new subgroup and call it crafted materials. Are they from Dragonflight? Then add it like this. Are they from the War Within? Then add the item like this, the name like this, okay? But I won't add it here right now because I don't have any materials in here which I could craft right now. But you could also do it like this, of course, okay? So since we have the materials in the Dragonflight group, we would like to add all the Dragonflight related materials in here. And here it really doesn't matter what kind of variation you choose in here, but I would just use the base item, but really it doesn't matter if you use the item level or the specific items on that on this ones, because if an item has different variations like Bismuth rank 1, 2 and 3, it still doesn't matter if you just add the base item, the item level or the specific item, because all the different ranks of rank 1, 2 and 3 are defined by own unique item IDs, okay, and not with bonus IDs. So let's say we go back to the farm Transmog items, and then you see the base item versions, okay? These have all the same item ID. So the blue dinner suit has the same item ID, no matter if it has maybe another different item level. But if an item has another different item level and you want to post them as item level variation, like here, the different item level is defined by a bonus ID, okay? You could also have a look on here. Let's say we did this command again, and also the commands with the other diadem here. And you see there's a little different when it goes to the bonus ID here. So you got in the first one 1372, and in the second link we got the 1374. And this is the bonus ID for the current different item level. Okay, so if something got a different variation like this, it's either defined by a bonus ID or by a unique item ID. Okay, and if it's an item ID, it doesn't matter if you select the specific item, the item level, or the base item, like in materials. Okay, so I use the base item like usually. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. And then I add my 5 items to my material group. Last but not least, we also got some crafted stuff in here. I'm sorry for that. Okay, the next group will be professions. And here we want to have one right now for enchanting, because I have some tomes in here which get crafted by my enchanter. And here I say I want illusions as my subgroup for my enchanter. So of course here too, it doesn't matter if you use the item level, specific item or base item, because the tomes itself just have one single variation. Okay, then we also got the malleable band. I hope I pronounce it correct. So we create another subgroup for the Java Crafter, Java Craft, and then we create also a subgroup. Let's call it finger. Okay, and now it depends on what kind of item level I actually want to post. So I could also say I want a subgroup for the max rank, so rank 5, and I say this group has its name of rank 5, so the highest rank I could currently craft with my Java Crafter when it goes to the string. The problem in here, I will open my Java Crafter one time, okay? Let's say you would like to add your crafted armor items like wing, necks, shoulder, head, chest, whatever. If you want to add your crafted the war within items, so armor stuff or weapons, you would have to add them always as item level variation, okay? And I'll give you a good example of that, because let's say we would like to add the base item of the ring in here, in order to just undercut the cheapest posted item from the ring actually, as long as it's above your minimum price of your selected auctioning operation. So let's say we are at the auction house again and you got the ring in here. We got the item level of 528, this is the highest one. You currently would like to undercut also here only the same item level, because it wouldn't make sense. Let's say the cheapest posted auction here would be a ring of 1000 gold, but the item level is not 528. Instead of that, it's maybe 518. So you would undercut it even if it's a different item level. So that wouldn't make sense. Okay, but also another reason to not use the base item when it goes to crafted stuff is, if you would add the base item here, you wouldn't get any crafting information in your TSM tooltip, so you couldn't use the crafting source in your auctioning operation too. Because, and then we have to open the profession tab one time again here, we got the ring here, okay? And we have added the base item, and the base item has an item level of 447. But the problem is, there is no item level with the 447 which we could craft. The lowest one would be 515. And because of that, because we don't know how to craft that item level, we also wouldn't get the crafting information in here. And this happens on all crafted items, on all crafted armor, even if you use it on your tailoring, on your blacksmith Java Crafter, no matter what. Okay, so please, if you want to sell crafted stuff in the auction house, remove the base item in here, change show ungrouped items as, and set it to item level. So you only undercut the same item level, and you also are able to use the crafting data and also the crafting source now in your auctioning operation. And now you see, since we know how to craft the item level of 528, we also got the crafting cost information, the profit amount, and we could also use crafting as source in your auctioning operation. Okay, so we have done that. We also explained it on how to currently add crafted armor items, the worth and related. Then we have this added too, so we got the profession groups made too. Last but not least, we also want to create a TSM group for the current Raid-BoEs. And for that, we also hit that little plus icon and call it Raid-BoEs. Okay. And here we would like to create two subgroups too, one for the heroic one and one for the mythic versions. One time heroic and one time for the mythic versions. And of course, the same like on the Transmog item of the Frozen Claw Mantle or the ring in here, you would like to add your Raid-BoEs, of course, as item level variation, because you don't want to ignore any different variations in here, okay? You don't want to post your mythic BoE based on the price from a Raid Finder one, okay? So we go to the mythic subgroup, show ungrouped items as item level, and same for the heroic ones. But before we do that, we create another subgroup in the heroic one, call it bonus stat, and another in the heroic one for no bonus stats. Okay, and the same for the mythic variation, bonus stats and no bonus stats. No bonus stats. Let me change this one here like that, because first of all we would like to add the item level variation into the no bonus stat group. Okay, heroic item level is chosen and we got the item level in here. 616 is the heroic version of that BoE. And since we have the mythic version of the plate head in here, we could also click on the no bonus stat version here, no bonus stat group, and then we select the 629 item level item and add them here too. But I also created a bonus stat group in both of the one subgroups, because I also have an item here with a third stat with avoidance, okay? Because you could also get a Raid-BoE with a third stat like avoidance, leech, or even also a socket or both. So you could also get a socket one on a head with avoidance and leech. And we would like to consider this new variation if there is avoidance, leech, or a socket on it, okay? So we go to the heroic group, select the bonus stat, and instead of the item level variation, we select the specific item. Because now, when we would add this BoE in here, we would also consider another bonus ID of that item for the avoidance stat on it. So if we add this to the group now and we would want to post scan, you would only undercut the same item, the same BoE, with avoidance on it. So normally BoEs with a third stat have a much higher value compared to the regular ones, okay? We could also have a look on it. Let's say you have the mythic BoEs without any bonus stats. So they are listed for 350,000 gold. But let's say it has a socket on it, and then they are listed for above 600,000 gold. And trust me, they get sold because they have a socket. They get sold for that price if there is a socket on it. But you also likely have here a BOE with avoidance, and it gets posted for 590,000 gold. So let's say I would have the playtet with avoidance too. I would also add this version in my bonus stat subgroup of Mythic, select the specific item, add it here, and I would only undercut this one here, which got posted for 590,000 gold, instead of undercutting the cheapest one with 350,000 gold, because this one doesn't have avoidance on it. Okay, that's why you could also, you don't have to, but you could, of course, you could also add the bonus that BOEs a specific item to your TSM group. Okay, so we got the bonus stat item added in here with avoidance, but we also got the BOE added without any bonus stats. So let's say you drop this BOE, the heroic one, even without any bonus stat or without a socket as example, you would still run the post skin of TradeSkillMaster, and for this specific one, just with the item level, you would undercut just the next best price with the same item level as long as it's above your minimum price of your auctioning operation. Okay? That was difficult to explain, but I hope you understood what I mean with all these show ungrouped items as version. So to make a little rewind, okay? Transmog items, always base item, except alt Raid-BoEs. For alt Raid-BoEs, you're gonna select the item level or the base item too. That's fully up to you. Okay? Then we got crafted items like this one here. Just use the base item for it. If you want to craft transmog items, use the base item too. If you want to craft armor items like wings, necks, head, shoulder, chest, whatever, the war with unrelated, please use the item level variation. Show ungrouped items as item level. If you want to add pets, please use either the base item version, or if you want to only sell level 25 pets, then use the item level version 2 to only consider the pet level when you run a post or a cancel skin. Or do both like we did it here, so we have them one time listed as base item and one time listed as pet level. Okay, also a little note in here, let's say you have some pets with level 8, level 9, level 10, please don't post them in your group as item level. Just use the base item level instead of them. If you want to consider the pet level, only use it please for the 25 ones, okay? So if you have any other pets between a pet level of 1 and 24, just use the base item version of them. If they have max level, add them as pet level variation by show ungrouped items as item level, okay? Materials, doesn't matter if you use specific items, item level or base item, because the different item variations when it goes to specific ranks, like rank 1, 2 and 3, are separated by unique item IDs, and not like another bonus IDs on transmog items like the frozen claw mantle or the diadem of the highborn. Okay? And last but not least, of course, the Raid-BoE group. If you would like to post your Raid-BoEs with TradeSkillMaster, always post them as item level. And if you got some BoEs in your group with a socket, with avoidance, with leech or any other stuff, just use the specific item then instead, okay? But still, it doesn't harm you if you have both added in your BoE group. So one time the item level version and one time the specific item version. Okay, so that's basically it. We have created all the TSM groups. I have explained how we could use the base group to add items to our own created groups in here, but we could also have some last steps in here. Let's say we first want to close all the groups in here, okay? We could also make a master group here, okay? Master group. And then we could also drag and drop all the groups in here. like I do it right now, okay? And when you have done that, you could also select the master group or a specific group, and you could also export the group in here. Okay, so if you select the master group, you would export every subgroup in this one here too. Okay, so you could also share this link in here. You could exclude operations or exclude also the custom sources in there. But you could also import item IDs or pre-made groups from other players. So for that we will move to, first of all, the TSM Groups-Tab. Okay, so if you are on the TradeSkillMaster website, you click on the Groups-Tab, and here you could search for any groups. Okay, as example, we're going to take the Mount group, and here you have the Add to Add-on button. So you just copy the string in here. Oh, what's that? Like this. And then you go back to the import string, you paste the string, include the operations, maybe replace 4 existing operations, and also then you just hit the import button, and then you have also imported the mount group from the TradeSkillMaster ledger, also with some filters like are these crafted by professions, are these farmed like the BFA mounts, or also is it a TCG mount? Okay, the big battle beer, the Fell Drake, then also the model Drake or the magic booster egg too. This is another way on how to get some groups if you don't have them yet, but you could also use the Wowhead database. I got a recipe list in here. I used the database of items of recipes, okay, and I got some filters on it here too. Added an expansion, the war within, binds when equipped, no. So I only want to get the war within recipes displayed in here, which also are not soulbound. So ideally you only want to have items in this list now, which you could also buy or sell on the auction house. And the database found around 263 recipes. There are some bugged items in here, but don't worry, that shouldn't affect anything in TradeSkillMaster, so you shouldn't get any errors or any other stuff like that. What we could do now, we could click the little copy button in here, and then we click on the ID. So we copy all the item IDs of the founded recipes, okay? Then we go back into the game, then we go to the import group button here, and then you just paste the item IDs in and import this group. So you also have a TSM group of all the war within related recipes. Like I said before, it may happen that there are some items in there which are still soulbound or which are some weird spells because this item or this item level got tracked while the war within was in its beta or alpha server, okay? So you could also just filter specific stuff like the cheap ones in here, or even items which don't get tracked anymore because the data is outdated and these items never reached the retail live servers. So just remove these, and you also have a TSM group like this one here. Also delete that stuff then, but then you could also use the recipe group in here in order to snipe them. So we're gonna use the imported group in here in one of my next videos to create our sniper operation and to run this group in the TSM sniper. Okay, so I will filter them out here before we're gonna do that, but I'm gonna do it when I'm out of this video here. And I would say I am done with the TSM Group-Tab, and I have finished the next part of my TSM guide series. So yeah, this is the way how you can create your own TSM groups based on different variations when we select the show ungrouped items as specific item, item level, or base item, okay? In the next video, we're gonna create some operations already for specific groups or specific subgroups in here. And maybe Nah, I don't think that. But we're gonna talk about the sniper and the sniper operation, not in the next video, but we're gonna make a separate video about that because it could take some time to explain the sniper function itself when it goes to TSM sniping, okay? So, first of all, thanks for watching again, of course. Have a wonderful day, and of course, if you have some questions, don't hesitate to ask them, even if it's just about the TSM groups know how to add specific items. Don't worry, I will try to answer everything. Thanks for watching again, have a great one, and I would say we see us on the next guide of TSM where we create the next operations.